Amara woke with a jolt, heart pounding as the remnants of her dream faded. Each night, for weeks, visions had haunted her sleep. Images of a city bathed in golden light, a sky streaked with colours more vibrant than any dawn she had seen, and a face she could never quite place but knew she should recognise. In her dreams, she stood by the ocean on cliffs so familiar they felt like home, although she'd never been anywhere like them. She would feel a pulse, as though the very earth were alive beneath her feet, calling her name. Liora, the wind whispered over and over, though her name was Amara. The visions followed her even into the waking world. She could see them in the smallest things, the way the light fell through the window, the scent of the sea breeze, or the feel of the earth under her hands when she tended her garden. And in her mind, she would hear faint echoes, chants, old songs, and voices calling to her from somewhere beyond her reach. Amara decided she couldn't ignore it anymore. Guided by instinct, she bought a one-way ticket to a town she'd never been to on the coast. She didn't know exactly why, but something about the name of the place had stirred something deep within her, a memory or perhaps the ghost of one. The town was small, nestled between cliffs and the endless expanse of the sea. From the moment she arrived, everything felt familiar: the cobbled streets, the weathered stone houses, and especially the towering cliffs that rose above the shore. It was as though she had stepped into the life of someone else, someone who belonged here. Amara followed her instincts, letting her feet lead her down the winding paths until she came to the edge of the cliffs. A vast temple ruin lay there, weathered and crumbling, its stones streaked with moss. Symbols she didn't recognise, ancient, intricate carvings, were etched into the stone walls. She could hear whispers, faint but growing stronger, and in her mind, she saw flashes of herself dressed in flowing robes, performing rituals under the stars. In that moment, she knew. She had been here before. The memories flooded back, triggered by the familiarity of the place. She was Liora, the healer and priestess of this temple, once devoted to the goddess of the sea and the earth. Liora had been deeply loved, trusted by her people, and she had wielded power over herbs and healing, even communing with spirits. She saw herself with her hands stretched to the sky, chanting in an ancient language, calling upon forces beyond the mortal world. But then came the memory of betrayal. Liora had died young, sacrificed by those she trusted the most, offered as a token to appease the wrath of the gods when a terrible storm threatened to consume the city. She had given her life willingly, hoping to save her people, but in those last moments, she felt only heartbreak. Amara sank to her knees, tears flowing down her cheeks. The sorrow she felt was both hers and not hers, a wound buried deep within her soul. She had been reborn countless times since, she realised, carrying that scar with her through each life, unable to truly heal. And now, she was here, once again, standing in the place where it all began. "Why am I here?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "What am I supposed to do?" As if in answer, the air around her thickened, and a soft glow began to radiate from the earth itself. A mist rose from the ground, swirling around her, forming the ghostly outline of a figure. It was herself, Liora, as she had been, with eyes that held an ancient wisdom and sadness. "Amara?" the figure whispered, the voice both familiar and strange. "You have come to set us free." Amara watched, transfixed, as the spirit extended a hand. "I have lived in pain, haunted by what happened, unable to forgive or let go. But now, you are here, whole, with the chance to mend what was broken." "But how?" Amara asked, her voice a whisper. "How do I make peace with something so long past?" The figure looked at her with compassion. Forgive them, and forgive me. Release the pain that has bound us." As Amara reached out to touch the hand of her past self, she felt a surge of energy, a light pouring from her heart. She closed her eyes, allowing herself to feel every betrayal, every ounce of sorrow, and then let it all go. When she opened her eyes, the figure had vanished, and the mist began to fade, carried off by the sea breeze. For the first time, she felt whole, the ancient ache in her heart replaced by a peaceful warmth. She knew that Liora had found rest, and with her, so had every fragment of herself scattered across lifetimes. Amara stood on the edge of the cliff, breathing in the scent of the sea, feeling the earth under her feet. She was free at last, reborn not only into a new life, but into a future, burdened by the shadows of her past. And as she looked out over the waves, she knew that, in this life, she was home.